Uh, Let's talk a little science about this little like science experiment that everybody's part of and doesn't quite realize it yet. But when they do, I do hope that they do come to the understanding that, well, it's better to be a human being than a humanoid. You know what I mean? Take a little time, listen to the other side, open your ears and hear what people have to say rather than use your ignorance to put you in very bad places that, well, quite frankly, you don't need to be in. What's wrong with wanting the truth? What's wrong with asking questions? What's wrong with saying, hey, don't call me fucking crazy. Show me where I'm crazy. No, if we're all saying it, Carl, it's got to be true. Well, hey, boys, don't give a shit. I think you're all fucking pedo protectors. Ladies and gentlemen, you all protect pedos. In my mind, that's what I think. You're fucking sick in the brains and you don't understand that well. People like that should go to jail. But, anyways, you're part of a movie. It's an experiment. Which way will humanity go? Who knows? Or am I just a crazy person and, well, I'm living in a fantasy? Perhaps there are no pedos running the world. Bill Gates is, well, the outstanding human being that everybody, well, that he portrays himself to be. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not a show. You know what I mean? I don't get it. Depopulation, Epstein is what? That's not up. My world doesn't add up in your guys' world. My world tells me that, well, it sucks because you guys are weak and pathetic and can't stand up to fucking losers like Bill Gates because they have money. But anyways, I did want to talk a little science on here because I watched Candace and they're talking about polio. And that when they talk about it, Chuck Schumer in the Senate basically says nobody talk outside of this. And if you do, they should be punished. How dare the humans ask questions about our dictations? Don't they know who the fuck we are? We are in charge of them. We are Mitch. And well, they're our bitch. And if they want to bitch about what we're telling them, hey, Charlie D, you still bothering Colby. It done nothing to you. I joke with you. Dang, put word on someone you know better. Have you not listened, Charlie? Hey, Colby, just go in my comments and say stop. Maybe he's paying attention, Charlie. Maybe one day he starts to open his brain and go, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm living in fear. I'm letting big time pedos get away with being big time pedos. I don't want to be like Charlie D anymore. I want to put on my big boy pants and, well, figure out a way out of this for the children. You know what I mean, Charlie? Come on, bud. Science. We're talking about science. I always tell you guys, RFK, they offered $3 million to fucking debate Peter Hotez about stuff that we put into our children. And well, because powerful science says we know everything, we're not debating whether it will benefit children or not. We know everything. And well, you little humanoids just sit down, shut the fuck up, and do as science says. And well, congratulations, science. You brainwashed all the humanoids to believe your fucking stupidity. Now, I'm not saying all science is stupid. Just Peter Hotez. I don't like that's cowardly. Cowardly, cowardly, cowardly. And this is the leading man. Then again, we talked about your guys' intelligence agencies, right? Like these are supposed to be the smartest people in the world. And well, they must be because they got everybody brainwashed to not give a fuck who was on Epstein's island. You know what I mean? But them themselves, they aren't very intelligent because, well, like I said, James O'Keefe caught one of them saying, well, Biden's pretty much brain dead. But then again, intelligence would have told us that, well, when he wasn't responsible for that paperwork, he should no longer be responsible for the country. But hey, nobody wants to know about Ashley Biden's diary. Why should Kobe want to give a fuck about what Ashley Biden's diary is? Maybe it was a plea for help from Ashley. Someone please see what my fucking life is about so it can end. Like, fuck. You know what I mean? But hey, when you're as powerful as the Bidens, actually seen Biden tell somebody, you don't fuck with the Bidens. Well, Jojo, you don't fuck with God. That's that. That's what determines your end result. But you can have all the power on the little earth you want, and well, you'll have to pay for the little crimes that your brain got you into because you followed Satan. That's only if he has followed Satan. Who knows? You know what I mean? Hey, they got Zelensky in there where they wanted him, right? I mean, hey, you only heard the guy tell everybody, hey, this district attorney that's about to, you know, do an investigation on that company my son works for, Burisma there. Well, either he gets fired or you're not getting your billions. Which one's it gonna be? Hey, Charlie D, you like it though, don't you? You like thinking you're the bullies of the world because you like thinking you're a bully. You have power over somebody. Hey, Charlie D, you like to think that you're smarter and wiser with me somehow, huh? You're not, man. You're the reason the pedos run the world. Strapping parent like your boy Uncle Will can go out on the water and say, hey, look at how they're poisoning us. And then he just stops there. You know what I mean? Nobody's got any drive to finish anything. You know what I mean? But then again, they learn it from their leader up church. He always just gives up. You know what I mean? Dagburn's out there still just mutilating his name. He ain't even fucking powerful enough to take care of Dagburn. But he won't say anything when his Creek Squad has to go outside of YouTube to fucking go after Dagburn. You ever notice when Dagburn starts wigging out? That's when people use his own words against him. You guys aren't smart enough to figure that out. But hey, let's talk about these recordings, eh? Your boy Dagburn, he's gonna get caught. He's getting him and Patty in a whole bunch of trouble. You don't even realize it. What do you think, Charlie? He's going on about Upchurch doing this. Like, I don't care if somebody records me, you know what I mean? That's the way I would have acted regardless. So if you catch me doing something you think is slimy, then well, post it away because well, I know in my heart of hearts I don't want to intentionally try and hurt anybody, Charlie. So I don't really give a shit. But here's the deal. When you have all the recordings and you know you're the recorder, sometimes you can dictate how things look. You know what I mean? Now I seen Triple T made a good point. Hey, you're trying to make this video look like you kind of didn't know or whatever, but what were those microphones doing in those boys' hands? But hey, maybe they were just ready to go because they got anyways. You got to think about recordings because Dagburn, remember this, Charlie. Dagburn, he just did a recording on John Holbrook's ex-wife. It wasn't enough for Dagburn to just hear it from his wife that that woman had said, "Hey, I kind of feel bad for what went down." So, you know, instead of being a man, Johnny could have had his wife say, "Hey, would you do a recording? Because this has really hurt Johnny really bad." And just say, like, you don't have to show yourself, but just say, "Hey." But no, Johnny has to be a slime bag behind her back, somehow get her number or whatever, and try and get her to say shit over the phone instead of just being upfront and honest and saying, "Hey, can you help me out? I took a beating over this, and if I didn't need to, can you let the people know?" Maybe then we could get clarity because for some reason he wants us to believe that, wow, Upchurch and Holbrook got together and put a gym together just to set Dagburn up. It is kind of weird though that they drove all that way to Paintsville, Kentucky for Patty to file sexual harassment charges on Dagburn. We forget about that, right? It's funny how that didn't happen, but maybe Miss Holbrook could come out and say, "Hey, yeah, that was all just a," maybe if Johnny went about it and didn't have to be so sneaky, maybe she would just tell her side of the truth. You know what I mean? It's the best way. It's the only way to be with God. You know what I mean? But then again, what is the truth? Does Johnny want the truth out there, or you can try and manipulate things? Because you got to remember, Patty has given Dagburn some recordings. Now he says it wasn't Patty, but when there's two people's voices on the recording, remember that recording about they tried to make Upchurch look bad because he was like flipping out because he didn't want children around during adult work time or whatever. Didn't really make him look as bad as they thought, but he did sound a little triggered. But then again, when you're going to do some recording and well, you got your mark on the other line, you kind of know how to trigger them a bit and then you record. You know what I mean? Try and dictate the way the recording goes. You know what I mean? Because the other person doesn't know. But who knows? Hey, Charlie, what other recordings? Because I don't get how Johnny can even say this stuff, the amount of recordings. Because, like I said, just like the Upchurch one, I don't get it. I'm waiting for more to come because I'm not picking up what he's laying down. You know what I mean? I'm not getting it yet. Because the way I see it, they weren't asking him to join any record labels. They were just like, hey, let's grow this together. You know what I mean? We got one of us in the mainstream. And if I keep mentioning you guys in the independent, you guys only got anywhere to go but up. You know what I mean? Then you guys got the mainstream audience on top of the independent audience. But I could be wrong. Maybe there is something sinister. Because, like I said, I don't, maybe Jelly Roll just takes bad advice. You know what I mean? He just wants to be the nicest guy that he possibly can. And well, it's really not a good influence. You know what I mean? Tell people to run from the problems. But then again, hey, it got him in shape, right? Them telling him he was fat. He wants to get in shape now. Use that to his benefit. So just all sorts of weird, you know what I mean? The Flavor Flav thing, everywhere, everywhere. Is there a price to pay for that? Was he willing to pay so others didn't have to and they could stay in the independent lane? Is he sacrificing himself to the devil so the independent scene can have their own thing? I don't know. Weird. See, that's the thing, Charlie B. Too many people think they know what the fuck's going on. Well, we really don't. You know what I mean? It's because people aren't truthful about it. Because, like I said, If Upchurch had a problem with Adam being on stage, he sure waited a long time to talk about it. He let a lot of people talk about, well, should we let Adam back into the fold before it turned into shit again? But you always got to try and figure out, where did this kind of start? Well, with the Jelly thing, right? It was Jelly talking on podcasts in ways that Upchurch didn't like. Jelly Roll called him a rap guy, but he was bringing up Ryan Upchurch's name on a huge podcast, saying he's a rap guy. People go check out Ryan Upchurch. Ryan doesn't see that. He doesn't see the silver lining out of it. I don't think. I think he just, I don't know. But then again, maybe there is some sinister. It always takes me back, Charlie D. Like, Upchurch is telling us some of them are into witchcraft. They're doing witchcraft. They're like manifesting in alchemy. Who, like, tell us, man, tell us. Because he's trying to say that, well, they're against us, but they're going after Upchurch to get the, well, Creek Squad. Sorry, not us. I'm no part of Creek Squad. No fan clubs for me, thank you. There's artists I listen to and artists I don't. But then again, I just want to talk a little more science. Charlie D, you know how I talked about that Peter Hotez guy, right? Well, his papa, Fauci, I always try and tell this story. There's this like doctor or something, and he was pretty hell bent to think that Fauci was behind the AIDS epidemic. I don't know if he was telling the truth or not, but what made me think that he was telling the truth was is that he was hoping that he could say enough bad things about Fauci that Fauci would try and sue him, but he knew that Fauci wouldn't sue him because, in fact, if Fauci sued him for defamation, the evidence that he had against Fauci would come out. And we as society weren't smart enough to figure that out. And well, was he behind the vid? Did it come from a lab? And was Fauci hiding things from us? Did he purposely, with his clown of fucking friends, try and destroy the economy, destroy small businesses? So, well, all those big boat businesses can own everything. But you be happy because, well, you're a complier, Charlie D. If they want to be pedophiles, you're going to let them. They love you, Charlie. They just love your stupidity. In fact, they don't respect you. They think you're so fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Because they tell you, like Klaus Schwab tells you what he wants to do, and no one wants to listen because they don't want to think. Like I know it's weird because he's like the Austin Powers like guy, but you know what I mean? It's they tell you, hey, we're evil, and we're here to rock the world. And we even got the Pope. The Pope loves Klaus Schwab. Those guys who open those portals at Christmas. Casey William Campbell. Who's Casey? I know there was a Casey Williams on my YouTube at one time, but who's Casey Williams Campbell? Guess what my name. Anyways, let's get back to Fauci. Yeah, nothing ever happened there. Weird stuff, though. You know what I mean? Then you gotta look and you gotta think to yourself, all that crazy stuff. AIDS, it makes me think of Easy E. Was he a threat? I mean, didn't Suge Knight kind of make references to like you could easily inject somebody and it was all sorts of weird. See, because this is the thing. Oh, they They can't help themselves but just tell you how evil they are. And it's just, but anyways, who knows? Who knows? Easy E was, yeah, into partying, right? So you never know. You know what I mean? But Fauci, and then we got science. Hey, what do you think, Judge William Campbell? What do you think? They should come up with something because, wow, politicians don't talk about the fact that we're on the brink of nuclear war. But the biggest concern in the world is cow farts, right? It's destroying the world. And Bill Gates is going to save us with his lab meat. But hey, bud, what if we could make more cows and we could harness that energy? We could turn that energy that could destroy the world and we could use it to power the world. You know what I mean? There's got to be some genius out there that could turn cow farts into something good, eh? So we didn't have to lose our cows, right? You would think. Harness all that bad energy and turn it into something good. Here's what I'm worried about because we talk about science and we talked about Peter Hotez, right? We know how that Fauci was kind of a Nostradamus and he predicted the vid that Donald Trump would have to deal with, right? Well, this one Peter Hotez talks about, like January 21st or something coming down the pipe. We just need to remember this just in case, you know what I mean? Just in case Biden, pardons Fauci and all these people. So this is H1N1 or whatever it is. It's it's getting in the poultry, the birds. Can you imagine? This is how they take our chickens away from us. Listen, the WHO, FEMA, United Nations, I bet you they're in like a bunch of heroes. Just like to save the world, they're gonna snaggle up all the chickens. This is, I bet you they move faster than they did in the Carolinas. You know what I mean? Weird shit. I Something to think about. They are concerned. You'd have to go watch Peter Hotez talk about it. It's all sorts of weird. Hey Charlie, don't leave. Let me know where my science is incorrect. You know what I mean? Come on, dude. The longer you let science rule your life and not ask questions, bud, the more to go into our children. You know what I mean? We just you would think people like little me and gotcha man would care. You know what I mean? Like what if we could help other children? But then again, it already happened to them. So why worry about anybody else's children? You know what I mean? Like, gotcha, man, can't figure out like something's up here. Well, I talk about this sort of thing, and he doesn't appreciate it. Well, can you imagine finding out there's a God? And you're me. Like, look at the fucking Three Stooges of science. Are you serious? Fauci, Hotez, and Neil Patrick Harris. Tyson, Neil Patrick Tyson, whatever his name is. The one that doesn't know biology, but he's a science whiz. It's all sorts of weird. It's like, you're, make that poster. The three amigos of science. We know better than everybody. Intelligence at its finest. Do not deny the science. Uh, Don't worry. I'm quite sure they got some bug protein. Bill's got some sort of chicken lab meat, you know what I mean? And it'll probably make the best chicken sandwich of all time, you know what I mean? Go get a Diddy and save us, Charlie. No, Charlie, stop a Diddy. Stop one. You know what I mean? And that's to spread the word, bud. Listen, you need to tell people we think Diddy is a federal agent. That's why everything's taking so long. And so is Jay-Z. We need some intelligence back in the intelligence agencies because it's so intelligent that it, 51 or 52 of the top brass weren't able to figure out a real laptop was real and fed all of the world disinformation, Russian disinformation. That's where we're at. You know what I mean? And the drone thing, when that congressman came out and said, or whatever he was, Iran has a mothership. Everything's about Iran, and it always makes me think, Charlie, I want you to check this out for yourself, but I say it all the time. Well, you know how I say Biden really is incompetent and should be like you should be able to figure that out, and he shouldn't be president. But the paperwork that Donald Trump is competent of having, it's leaked that well. It's about his government trying to set him up, starting a war with Iran. Some of those same people who said, well, Donald Trump will run the United States like Hitler. I was part of his organization and he wasn't good. Those same people. You know what I mean? But then again, we can't figure out simple shit. Like, well, this world is stupid. Like, can you imagine being an ex-president holding paperwork that says your government's trying to set you up to start a war? What, like, can you imagine? And who do you go to? The FBI. The CIA, or take it right straight to the Pentagon. The same people who said there's no laptop. That Mark Zuckerberg helped manipulate many brains out there to think that there was no laptop. Maybe if they knew there was a laptop out there, maybe we all would have questioned the laptop a little bit more. And well, quite frankly, we know a little bit more about what was in it. You know what I mean? But somehow that still gets hidden. But we know there is a laptop. You got how stupid this is. Hey, Billy. Like, they should. I am gonna start a collection. Like, the Three Amigos of Science, I like that. With their little heads bobbing around. Like, I can't, no, Billy, I tried to let you know, but Bill Gates is behind a lot of this brainwashing. You know what I mean? He wants you to protect the pedos. I think he's behind it. You know what I mean? But I might be wrong. Like I said, I might be wrong. I'm willing to be shown the proof. Because here's the thing, they think they're smart, but they're really not. See, because they like to throw little nuggets out there to try and save themselves. You know what I mean? This might have flew by everybody's radar, but it's just so Bill can say, hey, yeah, Epstein got me. He had the goods on me. Did you know Bill was cheating on his wife with some young girl? Not she was of age, but she was younger. I can't remember if she was part of a backgammon club or something. Anyways, apparently Epstein had the information that while Bill was cheating on his wife and just to take everybody off the scent of Bill, you know what I we'll throw that little nugget out there. Bill's just a cheater. He wasn't over at the island. But then again, Charlie D, who was, to your knowledge, the worst pervert on Epstein's island? Do you know to this day who they've admittedly thrown out there that participated on Epstein Island? Who is it? Who is it? Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking, real pervert, real hands-on kind of guy. You know what I mean? A real threat to the children and and did you know though Epstein was a physics guy? Weird, huh? That's what he went to school for. Now he didn't graduate or anything, but he did become a teacher at some sort of private school where Bill Barr, Bill Barr, the guy who works for Trump, yeah, his dad hired Epstein, so, a college dropout, to be a teacher. And his church affiliation with Bill Barr and Epstein did some. Charlie, can you look into that? But I'm just saying, I but and you know, Mike Pence. I don't know. It's just my feelings. I might be wrong, dude, but I think he was a plant by the dark side. You know what I mean? He got Christopher Wray into the head of the FBI. I think it was him. Christopher Wray, the head of intelligence. He's so intelligent, he doesn't have to let you guys know nothing because he knows it all. And if you guys found out, you couldn't handle the truth. Only Christopher Wray can handle the truth, and well, he'll keep the truth to himself. That way, you guys never know. He might be one of the bad guys. Bad guy. Christopher Wray might be a bad guy. But that's between him and God, right? I can only speculate. And while I do it with reasons, I don't ever just think that people do bad things because, well, I want to think that. You know what I mean? I always try and see the good in everything too, but I always try and use the bad, show the other bad, how bad the bad is and why it's making them bad so they can become better. At least that's what I think, eh, Charlie? Hey, Charlie, are you going to work on that cow fart thing? Are you going to be the change in the world, bud? Take this bad energy and turn it into like a good energy. You can fuel a world on cow farts. Come on, buddy. She's our biggest problem in the world right now. Cow farts. But I gotta get this out, Charlie. I gotta get it out. Charlie, remember these only my opinions and my thoughts. And if you can show me another way, like listen, I see us all as humans, whether we're black, white, yellow, whatever. You know what I mean? Whether we live in Israel or we live in Palestine. So when women and children are being blown up, we should give a fuck. You know what I mean? We should really ask ourselves, why? Why? Do we have to blow up women and children for others' safety? Which is what we're told, right? Now, I don't know. I don't think Netanyahu's playing for God. I think he's playing for Satan. But I'm willing to somebody to show me wrong. Now, here's the problem is that some people think that Netanyahu represents the Jewish people, and I don't think all the Jewish people serve Satan. You know what I mean? I just think Netanyahu and his government and his news and his intelligence are not intelligent and they follow the wrong father. You know what I mean? But I can be proven wrong. I mean, I always sit there and say, how can you Americans sit there and fucking cheer for George Bush at a fucking baseball game when you know how many lives were lost over his fucking stupidity? But hey, was Netanyahu a push in that direction? You have to go search for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? Has he influenced America? I don't know. Why is it that we have senators and congressmen, whatever else in both our countries who would stand for either country and not humanity to try and stop it, find out why we're doing it first. Why does it have to happen? Well, October 7th. I don't know, man. They really like to push the children and women thing when they can. And for their intelligence being the best intelligence in the world, they sure did lack on that day. But then there's that boat thing. You guys got to go check that out on Candace. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't want to think this way. Can you imagine thinking these world leaders just fucking want the worst for us because they want fucking dominance? Because they're power hungry little fucking losers? Can you imagine Netanyahu actually having to go to God and face the truth of his own stupidity? Hey, bud, what are you doing? Like, Satan's a liar. This doesn't end good for you, you fucking moron. You've been used and abused, and well, you thought you were winning, but in fact, you were losing. You know what I mean? That's why it doesn't pay to be ignorant, Charlie D. Freak Squad's a pretty ignorant little fucking association, isn't it? But I know I might come back later. I got 10 people in here. I, well, Charlie, I never said you're a complete loser. Just because you're a firefighter or a police officer doesn't make you a fucking hero, bud. It's your job, right? That's what I've learned. It's a job because, well, you got to follow the rules of the job, right? And if there's a man going into a little girl's change room and he says he's a little girl, in fact, if you put up a fuss, you'll be the one arrested or kicked off the property. Want the recordings? They do as they're told, buddy. You know what I mean? Not all of them, bud. Not all of them. Some of them are superheroes, you know what I mean? Some of them just all they want is the right thing, you know what I mean? But sometimes there's a price to pay if you actually do the right thing, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're punished for that. Let me tell you, I've had experiences, Charlie. Anybody? Lots of experience, so I can share them with you, Charlie, to help you get your brain better. Well, Charlie, anybody can do those jobs I respect. Like I say, just because I don't agree with George Bush and he fucking hurt your men and Iraqi people and women doesn't make their intentions any less. They did it for the right reasons. But isn't it better to admit to yourself, hey, I got hornswoggled. I should probably tell my other friends and family that what we thought was good for us really don't give a fuck about us if there's a buck to be made off of us. Ain't hard. Well, what trip am I on? What am I saying, Judge William Campbell? You know what I mean? And by the way, Charlie, and because you did that, you're a fucking better man than me. Because I couldn't have done that. I couldn't watch that kind of shit. So kudos to anybody who could, bud. That's not something I could sit there and watch. Takes a pretty special person to be able to do something like that. You know what I mean? I don't think you're a terrible person. I just don't think you open your brain up enough. You know what I mean, Charlie? What am I not doing? Have you ever listened, Charlie? Listened, listen, like actually paid attention and listened because you're not. You're in love with Uncle Will so much that you're not going to let any sort of filtration that can make you think less of Uncle Will because you might have to, the image of Uncle Will might have to shatter because he's not who he projects himself to be. And that would hurt you because then you're not part of a fan club anymore. Because Uncle Will's pretty special to that fan club. Well, I asked you and he said no. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we can come back later, eh? You guys want me to come back later, or you guys all done telling me I'm crazy? This man is going to prison. And just what would I go to prison for? Asking for the truth. Hey, everybody, I don't know the truth. Want to go find it together? We have to come together and we can find it. Maybe there's some little Easter eggs in the Vatican. Maybe we can prove that the Pope is not who he said he is. Maybe he's an evil spy working for the dark side. He is Darth Vader. And George Soros is Jabba the Hutt. And well, the Emperor Klaus Schwab as his little apprentice Bill Gates. And they're mind controlling the whole world into convincing them to let the pedophiles just do as they wish. Seize control of everything. Don't worry. Don't worry, Charlie D. There's gonna come a time where, well, we wouldn't be able to do anything anyways, because well, other robots that they give us to help humanity. Well, a switch might get turned and said, humans behave. Social credit score important. If your social credit score is up as high as it should be, you will be up for execution. Uh, hmm. You have a good day too, Charlie. Anyways, what else do you guys want to talk about? Yeah, what do you guys think, Dagburn? You might have to pay for this recordings thing, you know what I mean? Like, those ones you got from Patty, it's not gonna somebody's got recordings of everything you've done, Johnny, and it wouldn't be too hard for a judge to go, "These 2 might be conspiring." Like, why would, because 'cause they've gotta have that on video, why would Patty Lynn and Ronnie wanna associate with Dagburn when he sexually harassed the whole family? He's actually the only one that has threatened to get in touch with Ronnie Upchurch's daughter, and this is the guy that they choose to associate with. Sounds to me like maybe Johnny's a pawn in the game, and he's just not smart enough to figure it out. Want some more information, Johnny? Did you guys know that Johnny went around town saying that, well, they all tried having an intervention for Upchurch? See, the thing about interventions are you get to admit that you're weak and you need some help, and then, well, it's open season on your brain because, well, you admitted you got problems there. You no longer get to control it, and that they can make you spin out of control and do a bunch of shit. This is what I'm worried about that poor kid. Maybe he's not completely stupid. He's just Judge William Campbell. I got a serious question for you. Serious question. Listen, if someone, your friend, right around the same age, decided to fuck your mom, would you let him manage your career? I'm just asking. If he'll fuck your mom, will he fuck you? What kind of man? Like, is that a power thing or is it just like it was more than one time too, right? It was like an ongoing. I'd really like to find out before I is Brandon Luce a furry? This is a fucking question that boggles my mind. When or if Patty was lying, we'll never know because Patty's a hard one to figure out. She says something one minute and then tries to say it's a delusion the next. So, will we ever find out? Are there other women that will come out about Brendan Luce being a squirrel? Or I'm just asking. I don't like I'm not subscribed to Brandon Luce. I don't know him. I've never really paid that much attention to him, but every time I see pictures of him, there's like money with him and stuff. Now, if this ain't about the money. He likes to show her off. Look at me. Yeah, baby. It ain't about the money. It's about the but then again, Dagburn and Patty, I don't know if they had anybody convinced, but they tried to convince everybody that Patty owned Blue Moon. It may have been in your name there, sweetheart, but it was set up that way through the business. And while there is no Blue Moon without Ryan Upchurch, so but we were led to believe that Patty Lynn was the genius behind the business. But then again, I have 2 favorite videos because I love seeing demons fucking face the truth, right? I just fucking love it. And one's Patty Lynn just spazzing the fuck out. Don't have to give up your dreams for your kids. No, no, I gave up everything for Ryan. When you know, you like, we all gotta know, like, hey, if you've got a dream, never give up on it. Don't let your children like, you're not supposed to you still can raise your children and go after your dream, you know what I mean? But her thing was, she could've she could've springboarded into something off of fucking just being Ryan Upchurch's mom. Like, she wants to be Psychic Patty or whatever. She could've fucking had her own Psychic Patty channel. She coulda fucking, you know what I mean, ran with that Upchurch name, but then started her own business on herself, but with her son's help, you know what I mean? But she woulda did that on her own because it would've been her business, and Ryan's not into this. Then again, we don't think about that stuff, you know what I mean? We like to think that other people killed our dreams. Nobody can kill your dreams, only yourself, Pat, you know what I mean? If you stop trying, it's because you stopped trying, not because somebody made you, you know what I mean? And if you decided to make children, then it's your responsibility to help them create their little dreams, you know what I mean? But then again, we have old Ronald back in the day just saying, "Hey, Rai, you're gonna be a piece of shit. You're a nobody good nothing." But that's the thing about Ronnie's. At least maybe Upchurch learned from Ronnie. Maybe he was like, "Fuck you, old man. I'm gonna show you what a fucking piece of shit I am. I'm gonna fucking outshine you like a motherfucker. I'm gonna make you come beg for me for shit." You know what I mean? But then again, who knows? Is that true? Was Ryan paying fucking Ronnie's people? Was fucking Ryan bailing him out? But then again, sometimes when you have the security of a family member who has lots of money and you tend to, but then again, we don't know the whole situation, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying with my interactions with Ronnie, he's pretty much a narcissist and well, he's a legend in his own mind. But you guys should check it out. When he talks about getting in fights and violence, really does love it. He gets really excited. Like you can see the gleam in his eyes. It's well, his storytelling's just animated. You know, you're gonna love some violence. Something not right in his clicker. You know what I mean? But I was just what else do we talk about it? An hour? Hey, did you guys know I wanted to mention this? I wrote it down. You know how I talk about and Shane reacts. You know how I talk about shitty bloodlines and how I can show you guys the California university people. Astro was part of a ongoing just I guess the seeds from that bloodline are just they just don't they turn out to do terrible things. You know what I mean? We'll just call them a shitty bloodline. I'm not sure, like not because everybody comes from that bloodline makes them shitty, but there's just every so often there's a special one out of that bloodline that's but anyways, Justin Trudeau might be you can understand how that could be concerning, you know what I mean? But anyways, the Queen, I knew, and I'm gonna have to recheck this, but you can blame it on the guy who's on Roseanne, Sam Tripoli or something like that, I think his name is. Now, I knew that the Queen, well, the current king, the Queen has passed away since, but she was relatives, a bloodline from Dracula, like Vlad the Impaler or whatever. You go check that stuff out for yourself. But he mentioned that also from the bloodline of Muhammad the Prophet. I found that pretty interesting. Something maybe I should look into. That's why I wrote it. But if one of you guys want to run with that, save me a little bit of time. Let me know what you come up with. Is it just a bunch of hoopla, or are we double dipping and fucking? But then again, who knows, right? I don't know. Okay. I am gonna leave you guys with this. Like Donald Trump is fucking trolling my country so fucking hard right now because, well, our leadership is weak. Now, one of our leaders, Miss Chrystia Freeland, who 100% because she works for them, has been penetrated by Klaus Schwab and the WEF, was our finance minister. And just before she was to set out the budget, she resigns. Now, Donald sent some tweets saying, no one's going to miss that little fucking twiddle twat. She's fucking an idiot. You have to go check it out for yourself. But I can't believe how they spin shit here in Canada. Like, why are the news stations not standing up saying, hey, Justin, you're fucking making us look bad? What the fuck are you doing? Now, like, they should be standing up going, what were you doing in that interview when you called the American people fucking stupid and you fucking said that they set women back? How the fuck can you prove that? Can a man just fucking say that? Donald Trump's gonna destroy womanhood. Hey guys, in Canada, you better watch who you vote for because you don't want to make the same mistakes the Americans did. Well, here's the deal. I don't like our choices in Canada. I think she's got to be a brand new system or bust. You know what I mean? I'm not really trusting on the Polier train, but who knows? Maybe I could be shown a different way. You know what I mean? You do get a lot of great information from Polyev, and he does seem, but there's just we need someone who's ready, just a fucking bulldozer, just to say hey, and then stand up and say, hey, Canada was wrong, and we need to fix this. But then again, our government in Canada says, oh, sorry guys, we fucked up on the immigration thing. Well, only because we have to, because Trump's in office, and if we continue, then he's just gonna fucking raise even more hell. So we gotta put a fucking we gotta fix our little problem here so we don't look bad. We then again, fucking Trudeau could he blame it on his own government? He blamed it on some other shit. Little narcissistic little shit. I'm a feminist. I'm a feminist. Oh fucking that guy can't fucking wait fast enough to tell the world he's fucking gay. So so we can call on the LGBTQ. So look at how they hate us. Look at how they hate us. If you don't vote for me, you're a fascist. You're against womankind, the advancements of women. Listen. Meanwhile, he's the same cocksucker who's letting men into women's sports. You know what I mean? Letting men into fucking little girls' change rooms, wanting to fucking change all the fucking bathrooms into fucking just unisex. Just go wherever you want. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. You know what I mean? That guy protecting women. You know what I mean? In Canada, we'll make sure you can get your abortions. We will never be like Donald Trump. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, like no one's smart enough to figure out, hey, you can't blame Donald. He gave it to the states to decide. The area in which you live in, the people determine the rules. You know what I mean? Hey, something that's really important to you, and that's what this person says. But then again, how can you trust politicians these days, right? I think a lot of them are just either snaky or slimy, or they got themselves caught up in a bad situation that they can't say anything about, or it would ruin them, even though they were manipulated to do it. But I would come out. I would just come out, manipulated or not, before we find out there's a God, and we just submit ourselves to the truth, or always on a constant search. Because once we think we know the truth, then that's when we become ignorant. Kind of like science. To me, science has become the new ignorance, thinking it's better than everybody else and doesn't have to defend itself. Well, science to me has become a joke because if it don't know biology, it ain't science. You know what I mean? I'm just a simple man there, Judge William Campbell, but I was raised, well, I grew up knowing that if you think bad things are happening to children, you should stand up and say something and ask the questions and say, "Hey, if this guy is a bad guy, can we get him off the street so he can't hurt children anymore?" But hey, why do people have to talk about people's kids crazy? Oh, I don't talk about people's kids, I reference their kids. I'm not getting personal or saying any kids' names. I don't I don't like, do you hear what I'm saying, Shane? Like, all children should matter, you know what I mean? They really should. And the thoughts of children being on an island with people like Epstein and knowing that Bill got divorced because of Epstein, you know what I mean? I just watched a video about a guy who found himself in a party that maybe he wasn't supposed to be. Maybe it's a lie, but he mentions a few things. I put it on my community post. Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell. You know what I mean? It's ancient more prevalent than we know. Dave Grohl ain't afraid to show it, and no one really gives a fuck because nobody knows he's a Satanist. But it's right out there in the open. I don't think that we understand the power of music. See, that's the thing. Like, as much as I think Upchurch is messed up, I'd rather lead someone to I'd recommend the Pioneer album to anybody from Upchurch. Because when you listen to music, you think, right? Music should make you think. It can put you in an uplifting spirits, or it can bring you down, right? For instance, my son walks by playing his music all the time, and it really bothers me because I think I heard "Murder on My Mind" over 50 times in, like, a fucking minute. Do we not think that that might be detrimental if it just keeps filtering through our fucking brains over and over and over and over again? Like Dre and Snoop smoke weed every day. You're at your most creative. So when you're listening to those guys, you're taking in their information, you know what I mean? Over and over and over again. So what are you listening to and what is it telling you? You know what I mean? Should our young girls, Jackass Exposure, be listening to Cardi B? Well, I saw Cardi B do a video one time, and while her child came into the room and she stopped what she was doing real quick. Now, if she doesn't want her child to see it, why is she popping her pussy out there for every other fucking girl to see? But hey, maybe we could learn from our past and maybe she can inspire young girls to say, hey, try and find a different way to live your dream, but learn from your mistakes. You know what I mean? But hey, if a woman feels like she's got to pop her pussy to get ahead in the world, hey, she's got free will. Who am I to say? People earn their livings any way they want. You know what I mean? It's when you go to God, like the police officers and the FBI agents and CIA, and you get to go to God and you get to say, God, it was my job. It's just my fucking job. Morality doesn't count if it's your job. Like, my money depended on me doing this shit. You can't blame a fella, right? A pimp's gotta play, right? I don't think that works with God, but I might be wrong. I don't know. That's one of the swags I'm gonna get too. It's not my fault. It's my job. Do you think people would care about what their jobs were in the future if it mattered what your job was? And if it broke the morality code? But then again, you know what I mean? People will fucking break for nothing. The thought of fucking losing something over telling the truth. Oh, fuck, I got myself lying. I do. I got myself recorded lying just to get myself out of trouble. I didn't wanna have to pay for the full extent of something that I didn't do, so I had to take the lesser charge. But I knew in the background, Harley, I got the video to that accident. I got the statement, and well, booyah, motherfucker. It's to show you guys, though. Look at what we have to do as society. We have to say that we fucking did something we didn't, to fucking not pay the price for that we didn't do. You see how ridiculous this fucking is, a jackass exploser? You don't get that, do you? Yeah, that's right, Harley. Booyah, motherfucker. Hey, Clinton, Clinton, you shouldn't lie, look like the hero, and well, make the guy who you almost killed look like a zero. It doesn't go well for you in the end, especially if you record it. Could you imagine that guy? I'd rather have him find out on the earth that he fucked up. You know what I mean? He's riding his life, not even fucking caring what he did to mine. You know what I mean? No fucking care in the world until all of a sudden one day it's all over. He has to go to God and he has to figure out what the fuck his lies did to my life. Caused me a lot of turmoil and grief, especially when I was already suffering mentally because, well, I had no one to talk to and I was being hornswoggled all throughout the fucking mental health system. Weird as shit, eh, jackass exposer? It's gonna be a good time, sweetheart. Like, I make fun of Johnny Dagburn for having recordings. I've got some of my own, but I always try and tell people when I'm recording. Like, I have some of my wife, she knew. I have some of the police, they knew. I told them. I've had some other ones, like of me with my psychiatrist, that I didn't because I wanted people to know this is this is the kind of service when you're asking for help that you get. It's all sorts of fucked up, and I don't understand. So someone please show me where I'm wrong. But no, nobody could even do that. Hey, no, no, I did get a couple of comments. That's fucked up, Carl. I did get a couple of those, but you know what I mean? All recorded. Especially one of my favorite recordings is gonna be Dr. Poku. The very first time they yanked my fucking life from me. I'm recording them and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Well, some friends of yours are concerned. Concerned about what? Well, we're just gonna keep you here and exam. No, I think we should have a talk about why I'm here because, well, I can show you every conversation I've had. It's right here on this phone. I've not had a voice conversation with anybody. So if I've done something, here it is. Prove to me because you're about to fucking yank my freedom from me and you won't give me a reason why. It's great having that on video. It's such a good time, Captain Midnight. You know, to be able to back your own words up and say, hey, this system's pretty spry. And it might be set up to fuck people up who are start asking questions and all they want is the truth. And especially if they start talking about God and truth. They're fucking they need to fucking take their have their lives taken away from them. You know what I mean? Look here, dude. What are you gonna do, Captain Midnight? What are you gonna do, Captain Midnight, when I shine my light on Captain Midnight? And you got nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, and well, you're trapped. And the only way to get out of that trap is to face the truth. Now, Captain Midnight, I can't tell you what the truth is. That's for you to figure out, honey. And well, it lives in here. Go find her. Find your Jesus Christ, buddy. Want to be like him. Let him set your life in motion. Show you the way. Show you the truth. And he'll take you to God, buddy. And then you too can have conversations with God. But then again, maybe I don't. Maybe it's just craziness. You know what I mean? Who knows? Anyways, well, it's red and white. It would have matched better. I can do that for the next video, Harley. I knew this was going to be a fashion clash, but you know what I mean? I got to risk it all for the biscuit. You know what I mean? I'm not like Limp Biscuit. I'm not doing it for the nookie. I'm doing it for the cookie at the end. You know what I mean? Doesn't anybody want to take a bite out of the truth? Nobody wants to find out what the truth is these days. Because we got to face ourselves in order to find out what the truth is. Dang it. Anybody who's willing to do it, it ain't easy. It's a little sleazy. It's a lot of hard work, but it's all worth it in the end. You'll be a million times the person you were when you started out. God will show you the way. He will give you the power to overcome any obstacle. Like, look at me, Harley. I'm like over 50 years old. I'm like out here saying I'm the Mashiach. I have to play the role of Captain Common Sense. I'm the Red Kachina. I'm here to fucking help the world, but I need to get a message to Donald Trump. It doesn't sit well with me because I'm thinking I was really wrong on the whole Upchurch thing. You know what I mean? So I could be wrong here, but it's what the universe is telling me. You know what I mean? There might be players that are on my side, and maybe they'll recognize me. You know what I mean? Once they see me, they'll realize we're playing the same game, and it's time to whoop the devil's ass. The devil is weak, Shane. Devil is weak. We could easily kick his ass. We just need to connect to God. Unconnect to the Father everybody's currently connected to. And well, let's find a sense of righteousness and come together for God. And well, fight Satan out of our brains and move forward and create a better future, like an actual creative future, not this stagnant fucking putrid fucking uniform brainwashed fucking silly mind game fucking bullshit we're living in, eh? Judge, time for us to make the change. You can be the change, Judge. And well, Harley, when are you going to find your superhero outfit and make your video to Donald Trump or to Dick Durbin? We can get this going. Well, her is Captain Stinky Pussy from now on. He is a result of a whole lot of stupidity. If you guys really pay attention, you can see the circle jerk, and it's terrible. But hey, you guys need to figure out why he's friends with Johnny Gobble. Is he an Upchurch spy, or What's the reason he wants to hang out with Dagburn? There's a whole bunch of people out on this internet to hang out with. And why does Kurt choose Dagburn? Only Kurt, Dagburn, and Upchurch know. But if Upchurch don't know, then Kurt probably shouldn't be his friend. But maybe that's why Upchurch is getting himself in a whole lot of trouble right now because he doesn't understand the people that he's hanging around with. But maybe he does, and well, he's got the others figured out because they're doing witchcraft and a whole bunch of bad stuff, and he's trying to put an end to the evil. But you think that he would tell the people, but he doesn't, stringing it along. And remember, when you own all the video, you can kind of frame how it plays. Just remember that when you're taking her all in. You know what I mean? But I'm really curious to see who thinks that they're Epstein out of the group. That was an interest. That's what makes me keep thinking maybe there's something he can, because he's like, I'm not buying his narration at the beginning. I'm actually listening to the video because you notice he puts little notes in there too. Never got a call from him and stuff. No, that's what he's complaining about. But he's like, we need to be able to communicate. Don't go on the fucking internet. If you got a problem, come to me first, see if we can solve it. Then go to the internet. That's what a reasonable fucking human being does. I don't care if Jelly Roll is fucking working with Satan or whatever the fuck. That's how you try and work shit out, right? What Jelly Roll did was right. Hey, if you got a fucking problem, let's be boys because I want to build this. And then, if we can't settle it, then fuck, maybe you go to the internet. But instead, I don't know. I don't know. You trying to dictate to me, buddy? You want to see these beautiful blues? Hey, blonde hair, blue eyed, Moshiach. You talk about having everything working against you, eh? I gotta tell the Christians that, well, you actually have to be with Christ. You know what I mean? You can't just think that he died for your sins and do a bunch of nice, pretty little dance videos. You kind of want the truth. You know what I mean? Then I got to tell the Jews, hey, Christ is the way. Then I got to tell it's all sorts of screwed up. Then I got to tell, I think it all ties in. You know what I mean? Even the Buddhists. I, I know that the native stuff does because I'm a Heyoka, right? And I believe that the Hopi process, and I believe that they were doing it right because they were actually celebrating God. You know what I mean? And oh my goodness, it's all sorts of fucked up, eh? Odds stacked against me like no other man has ever faced before. And here I am, Harald the Mashiach, ready to take everybody's verbal bullets. And well, quite frankly, I'll take any real bullets too. For the truth, baby. There's no better way to go than for the truth, I think. It's a sacrifice worth making.